The offensive linemen are running right now. We'll be able to watch the big guys kind of do their thing. So today is Friday at the Combine.
Got a nice stance. Oh, beautiful. Hey, I'm getting excited here. That first kick was just remarkable.
We get up early and, you know, now that things are starting up, you have the weigh-ins in the morning at about 7:30. Each position group will weigh in, and, you know, yesterday was the offensive linemen, and today it was running backs, defensive ends, and all those guys, and that usually takes up most of the day. And then we go into interviews at night where we'll interview up to like 10 to 12 players a night, and this will go on till probably Sunday night.
We'll look at everyone. This is kind of the cream of the crop of the draft eligible class. Obviously there'll be guys drafted that aren't, you know, slip through the cracks or whatever, but this is really the biggest information gathering tool that there is, from interviews to medicals to the on-field stuff. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. It's really valuable to our evaluation.
My goals is just simply to, you know, try to see what makes them tick, see what makes them upset, see what makes them happy, see what motivates them, see if they are motivated by anything, see if they're driven, you know, what makes them go. John and his guys have been working on these guys for probably over a year now. They've got a lot more info than we could ever imagine to get. So that's where the collaborative thing comes in, and you know, we go from there. Your boy don't know I'm messing with him, don't he?
Good morning. How's everybody? Well, what we try to do in the Cleveland Browns organization is we're going to turn over every stone. And if there's a player that can help this organization, we'll make sure we try to find him. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get better, you know, year in and year out.
How about backup?
Well, Dave, here's my cell phone over here. It's the first time the organization as a whole gets to meet the respective draft class. The most major benefit is the medicals that come out of this combine, but it also gives us as an organization a chance to meet these players one-on-one, find out what kind of people they are, but also when they begin to run the floor drills, you kind of get a chance to see them compete amongst their peers. You know, the game of football, last I saw, was a competitive game, and so you like to see, you know, what kind of fire drives inside of a young man when it comes time to competition.
As you go through the college process, there's a lot of players in this draft that I've been around for 2 and 3 years. I've been watching Nick Chubb since he was a freshman. I've watched Baker since he was a sophomore in college. And, you know, you go to practices, you talk to coaches. So you kind of already have a feel. Like, I knew Baker Mayfield, but I didn't know everything about him. And then as you got to know him and got to be around him, you really saw who he is and what he is. And that was probably the funnest part of last year's draft, getting to know who these guys are.
Last year was really unique from the standpoint, obviously, we can get whoever we want with one, and the secrecy with which we wanted to keep the first overall pick. And I think the main reason for that is because we also had number 4. So if we hadn't had 4, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal, you know, but we had 4. Picked the 2 guys we really coveted there. This year, there's just more unknown.
You know, as you look back on last year's draft, there were a lot of positives, and you start looking to the future. We've got a few building blocks that we've got set in stone now with the quarterback and Nick Chubb and Denzel Ward, and, you know, there's some other young kids that they're going to have a big season. I think in 2019, Avery, Chad Thomas, and, you know, those kids are going to get an opportunity next year to play. And you know, you can look in the past and look to the future, but I don't think in no shape or form that we're even close to where we want to be.
The way that the system is set up and created is we approach every draft the same, and we meticulously work through all the little finer details, and just at the end, we will seamlessly make a conclusion, because at the end of the day, it's a Cleveland Browns selection. There's a lot of man hours that go involved in this thing, and, you know, we will continue to kind of do our due diligence, and by the time the draft rolls around, we'll be prepared.